Hi, everyone. Brad here, Delta Awesome, helping you change things into awesome. And today we're going to be talking about AI for the rest of us. There's three things I wanted to go over just because I talked to so many people using AI, developing AI, investing in AI, hating AI. And the three things we're going to go into in this video are first off, how and where is AI going to take jobs and where the opportunities lie in that? The second is what AI is currently able to do, machine learning, it's stateless, it's memoryless, and how to think about that. And then the third thing is what AI is doing right now, which is absorbing itself, not transforming. So for anyone who wants to stay, come listen to the long video. For the short people, I hope you understand that this is what we're doing. We're helping change things into awesome. So let's get into that first topic, which is what AI, how the ways you're going to lose jobs or jobs are going to transition or change. Look, a lot of people are saying that old line, AI is not going to take your job. It's the person who uses AI that's going to take your job. That's pithy and nice, but it's not even close to the full picture of the elephant of what it's going to do. But let's talk about what AI is capable of doing right now. Effectively, it's extremely good at taking on grunt work. Well, since a lot of people are involved in grunt work, let's use the metaphor of a 10-person team. I don't care if you're doing intellectual property or if you're coding or if you're part of a marketing agency. A lot of the work you do is what we call work. In my design thing, this is stuff that we do. It's going to take 40% of that work. Well, in a 10-person team, and the numbers aren't here, they're a metaphor, it can achieve one of two goals with that. Either make your 10-person team feel like a 14-person team, or your 10-person team be reduced to a 6-person team. And I know the math doesn't quite work there, but let's talk about the different ways. For the people who want to feel like they're bigger, it's where there was more money or more value you could create as a 10-person team, but we didn't have the budget for the extra 4 people because it wasn't there. We applied it somewhere else. You weren't as good an ROI as something else. But now all of a sudden with AI, that extra work could be done. The threshold argument here that I met was with, of all things, personal injury lawyers, where they said they couldn't afford to take a job where they get paid less than, let's call it a $50,000 settlement. They said below that, they can't take the case. So it either gets dropped and the person never gets their case seen, or taken on by somebody who isn't good enough to get the job done or only gets halfway there. But with AI, now you can afford to do those things you couldn't do before. Your 10-person team feels like a 14-person team, but you didn't need to grow your human capital. AI made you better and faster. That's version one. We like that version. A lot of industries are going this way. They say, look, you got to do better with AI, but it means we can all do more. Our mission, our vision, our values, our profit, our loss, our income, all can grow with it. Happy dance. The way it's going to take jobs is the people who do the other thing, which is 10 people is exactly the budget we need for this activity, but now we can do it with a 6-person budget plus AI. 4 of you are going to lose your jobs. But it's not going to look exactly like that, right? All 10 of you had 40% less work to do. You're sitting around twiddling your thumbs because there's no more work to do. So eventually someone comes along and says, all right, those of you who use AI the best, you stay because we still need your wisdom, your experience, and your guidance of AI. But the 4 of you who refuse to adopt it, can't adopt it, don't have the capacity, or just frankly don't like it, those are the ones who are going to lose your job. Now, in this, where do you find the opportunity? What do you do? In this one, what you want to do is not be the one who's holding the hot potato or when the music ends, the chair dies. But if you expand your horizons past just what you do, and you say, wait a second, not only can I adopt AI and I can be faster and more efficient, but I can also start blending into other parts of the marathon that is my job. Usually people receive something as a handoff, they do their work, they hand it off to someone else. If you stay within those bounds, you're either going to be the best in AI of your team and stay, you're going to be in the middle, 50-50 you stay, you're going to be at the end and you lose. Doesn't matter. The smart play on either one of those is expand where you exist in the relay. Maybe you start learning how to go earlier on to receiving the baton because you're smart enough, you're capable enough, or you use AI to do it, or you hand off the baton later. You can expand your capacities in this way. If you expand your capacities and your duty by using AI tools, that's another way. And now let me tell you the harshest thing about all this. There's a third way that people are going to lose jobs, and this one's a lot more difficult. The third way you're going to lose jobs is the group of people who start with 3 people, say we're AI first, and they're capable of doing 20 people's work, and you've never met them, and they just suck your work away from you, and you've never even seen them. Maybe a client, you lose a client, you lose another client, you lose another client. Instead of an equilibrium in your client load, all of a sudden you're getting less inbound and the same churn outbound. And all of a sudden, the amount of work that you have is less, and you don't even know that some group over here has adopted in a different way. Pretty tough to be in that scenario. And if you're currently working in a large organization, you actually want to look at the positioning of your organization to see if it's going to win or lose on that. And trust me, not everyone's going to do that, because just because someone's better, faster, and cheaper with AI, they might be stinkers at their quality, at their speed, at their culture. A lot of these companies are going to be fly by night. They're going to come, they're going to grab a lot of the market, and they're going to go bankrupt because of co-founder conflict, right? Stuff that an existing company has already gone through. New companies, new entrants, new startups, they have a lot of turbulence as they're growing, and a lot of them aren't going to be able to handle the chaos of growth. If you don't know me, this is where I have focused a huge percentage of my last 10 years, is helping high growth companies from startups to medium-sized businesses navigate the chaos of growth. And trust me, these companies are going to go through it, but it's going to be really hard for you, because the way they go through it is they took your work, they did their best, they failed, now you come back in. But hey, if you're out of a job for 18 to 24 months while that happens, that's a pretty tough one. So not a lot of solutions there. Number two, for the rest of us, how to think about AI. I work with a lot of people about what they're doing with AI and learning AI and MPUs and agent AI and ChatGPT and Claude. And look, I'm not a tech guy, right? I'm dyslexic and I'm just here to listen and learn and do my best. But how do I change your mind frame to become more awesome in what you think about and what you're doing with AI? Here's the thing that I've learned more than anything else. As you enter into thinking about AI, especially as a novice, consider it this: you have 1,000,000 college interns immediately on task. Now, having one college intern can be great or a pain in the butt, but you got to navigate. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have context on what they're doing. They don't see a broader picture, but they have maybe 3 or 4 years of education in the system. That's great. When you have 1,000,000 of them, you can actually design how they work together in interesting ways. But that fundamental capacity of they don't remember, they don't know what they don't know, they need to be given a good prompt, they need to have somebody check their work occasionally, and then they need to make sure the end result fits towards the broader picture. But you have 1,000,000 of them, so you can put them together in interesting ways. That metaphor I have found to be that good 80% correct framework for most of us. That's why I use it when I'm teaching people how to use AI and what to do with it. Again, you can't come and expect perfection. It's not a tenured PhD in the field. It's 1,000,000 college interns working together in interesting ways. Which goes about into the third part of what I want to describe about AI for the rest of us right now. And that third part is we actually haven't seen a lot of change and growth in AI in about 6 months, which is crazy, because from ChatGPT 3.0 to 3.5 to 4.0, we saw nothing but growth, new entrants coming in, new version control, all this other stuff. Well, right now, basically, when you read Wall Street Journal or anywhere else, they're coming on a capacity issue. In order to hit the next thing, they need a lot more big stuff: energy, data centers, GPUs, electricity, all this stuff. Okay, what's happening while they're stalling out on that? Well, ChatGPT 4.0 and Claude and everyone else, where they're at right now, they created so much capacity that the market, i.e., you and me, and the people who do this professionally and the people who do it on the side, we're absorbing an incredible new set of capacities. That is a different thing, absorbing new capacities versus transforming the technology. This is actually a really good thing, because the market is finally getting a chance to figure out what to do with this. The smart people are starting to learn how agents work and use agent AI. I think it's MPUs are starting to come along. But again, this is layering on top of the current capacity. The benefit of this is, as you, somebody AI for the rest of us, is listening, you have some time to now watch what's happening without transformation of technology under your feet. This is the pause for you to learn what people are doing. Also, this is the time when people who are trying to promise what AI will do in the future are the least capable of knowing what it'll do in the future, because the future is not dictated on a technology curve, but on an adoption curve. And by nature, when markets adopt things, novel people are coming and looking at things in novel ways, which means we don't understand how it's going to work. This is Chaos Theory 101, small change, big outcome, but undeterminable outcome. That's where we are on the adoption curve of AI. I don't know how long this is going to last. I'm not a soothsayer, but it's where we are right now. I hope 6, 10, 12 months from now to say something different. But those are the 3 things I wanted to help give you something to help you change into awesome. Delta Awesome. I appreciate you, and thank you for your time.